Hi, Ernie.
Hey, Harold.
You have good Wi-Fi. That's good.
Yeah, yeah. Very nice hotel.
Where are you right now? What city?
We're in Livingstone
Oh, very good.
in Zambia.
I presume.
Exactly. We were at his statue. Um, this hotel is right on this banks of the Zambezi River.
Uh-huh.
And in the hotel, when you walk to the to the meal, there's two giraffes walking
Oh, I
in the
saw
hotel.
that. It was big, huge.
Huge and zebras and impala. It's just crazy.
Yeah, beautiful.
But the Victoria Falls is so didn't you go there, Harold,
Yeah,
with Robert
yeah,
Lifkin?
yeah. We went. Yeah, yeah.
You
It's
got to
amazing.
be there, right? You got to see that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
The
huge.
pictures, yeah, the pictures don't do it justice.
Yeah.
Here's Abe.
Who's in your
I
group? Anybody from LA in your group?
no,
Oh,
no, they're all very nice. They're all from like New Jersey, the five towns. They're all from the East Coast, but very nice. Like about, our age.
uh-huh.
Some older. Okay, we're on Pei Zion,
Okay.
87. The Mishnah.
What's that
Shochat,
for you?
huh?
What Daf?
87, Pei Zion. Shachat v'lo. If somebody shechted a chaya or a bird and they did not do the kisui, v'ra'ahu acher, and another Jew saw what had happened. Let's say the guy shechted and left, and no one had covered the blood. Chayav l'chasos. It creates a chiyuv on the person who saw to cover the blood. Kisavin is gala. Let's say you covered the blood and the wind blew the dust or the dirt away. Potter melchasos. Once you did the kisui, that's it. Even if it gets uncovered, that's not an issue. Kisawa ruach. But if you didn't cover it, if the wind covered it, then chayv l'chasos. You have a chiyuv to cover it. Tanraban. V'shofach, which means to shach, v'chisa, and you have to cover. Mi sheshofach lichasa. The primary obligation is on the person who did the shchita. Shochat v'lo. If he shechted and he didn't cover v'ro acher, and somebody else saw it, minayin shechav l'chasos, how do we know that he has to cover it? Shenemar va'omar livnei Yisrael. Azar l'chol bnei Yisrael. It's a warning to all of Israel that they have to do kisui as well, if it hadn't been done. Tanidach. V'shofach v'chisa. Kimor sheshofach bo yichaseh. You have to cover it with whatever the shochet used. You have to use your hand or the back of the knife. You can't like cover it with your foot. Shloi chasenu beregel. That's a bizoyon. Shloyu mitzvahs bzuyos olav. Tanidach v'shafach v'chisa mi sheshafach hu yichasenu. The one who does the shchita, he is the primary person who's obligated to do the kisui. Ma'aseh bechad sheshachat. Person shechted a chaya or a bird. V'kodem chavera v'chisa. And somebody jumped the gun and covered the blood before the one who did the shechita. So he damaged in a sense, he damaged in a sense monetarily the shochet who didn't get a chance to cover. He took away the mitzvah. So Rabbi Gamliel charged the other man 10 golden dinar. Now, what is that for? Is it schar mitzvah or schar bracha? Is it that he performed the mitzvah or that he did the bracha? Now, l'may nafkamina, the birchas hamazon. For example, let's say there was at a meal Normally the balabayas benches. Somebody jumped the gun and benched. Iyam etzchar mitzvah. Is it that you pay the damage because you grab the mitzvah? Well, achasi, there's one mitzvah of v'achalta v'savatu v'irachta. However, iyam etzchar bracha, having arba. There are four brachos. There's hazonis hakol, alakol, and then you have rachem, and then you have uvnei Yerushalayim, and then you have the al yichasrenu bracha. So that would be having arba. You might owe 40 dinner, 4 times 10. My toshma. Domer le'ahud stuki leRebbi, mi sheyotzer harim lo borer ruach. Whoever, the word yitzira means like fashioned. Whoever fashioned the mountains, lo borer, did not create the wind. Umi sheborer ruach lo yotzer harim. Why? T'chsiv. Ki hinei yotzer harim uvarer ruach. It's like two different people. Stuki was trying to chepa. Amar lehu shoyte shpilu sefer dekro. So Rebbe told the Stuki, go to the end. Hashem tzvokos shmo, which is there's only one tzvokos, Hashem. Amr lei, nekot li zimna tlosa yomi. Give me 3 days. Let me think about what you responded to me. Umar l'cha tuvta, and I will give you an answer. Yosef Rebbe tlas tanesa. Rebbe spent 3 days fasting. He knew it would be a Kiddush Hashem if he beat the Tztuki. Now, I anticipate that the censor got involved here, and it probably was a Christian, a Min, because they had debates at this time, especially about Psukim. They knew Psukim well. But I don't know. Kiava Kaboy Mivra. So Rebbe had been fasting for 3 days. And he was hungry. Before he ate, Amar Vayitnu bebarusi Rosh. No. They told him that Stuki is at the door wanting to come in. And Rebbe was again delayed in eating. Amar Lay, so there was a different Stuki there. Rebbe Mevalser Tovas Anilach. Rebbe received news from the Stuki, Lo Matza Tshuva Oivcha, your enemy did not find an answer. V'nofel min hagag v'meis. And he took himself to the roof and he threw himself off and committed suicide. Amr lo, Ritzon Chashatisad. So Rebbe invited the Stuki to eat with him. Amr lo, and he agreed. Yet, Amr lo, after they ate, Rebbe offered the Tzuki koshel bracha tashoise. Will you make the birchas hamazon? Or arbazuhu imatanotel? Or instead of that, I'll give you 4 dinner. Amrla koshel bracha nishose. He'd rather do the bracha. Yotza baskov amr koshel bracha shava arba zuhufim. That the koshel bracha is worth arboim. I'm saying arboim, not 40. So we see that if you prevent somebody from saying Bechas Abasan, it's 40 dinner. So it has to 10 dinner for each bracha. Amrav Yitzchak, Yoshnal also Mishpacha Ben Gedoli Roini. That Stuki, who decided to take the bracha, they're one of the important families in Rome. The Korn also Mishpachas Bar Luyanus. That was their name. Kisalvin is Gala. The Mishnah said that if a person covered the blood and it got uncovered, you don't have to cover it again. Right? When you return a lost object, you have to return it as many times as it requires. For example, an animal runs away from a person. You have to keep on returning it. It doesn't suffice one return. How come here, one kisu is enough? Amalei, hasam loksiv miuta. There's no miyut. Hachaksiv miyuta says v'kisahu. You should cover it. It seems to say that one time is enough. But kisau aruach, if the wind covered it, you don't have to. You have to do it. You only have to recover it if the blood got uncovered again. If the wind covered it, and so there's no chiyuv to cover it again. If it became uncovered, why is that a problem? Once the mitzvah is performed, there's dichui. It should remain. You don't have to do it. Amrav Papa, so I suppose ain't dichui eitzel mitzvahs. By kotshim, we know if you take a if you shecht an animal, if you take shechten a kotshim animal, and you collect the blood in the coast, and you take the coast outside of the Azora, you've ruined it. So yesh dichui b'kotshim, you have to start again. But here it seems to imply there's no dichui by mitzvahs. If the blood was absorbed in the ground, you still have to cover it. Only what says the Gemara, you can tell that there's still a stain of blood there. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to do it. Mishnah. Dam served b'mayim. You have the blood of a chaya or an oaf that mixed with water. Im yesh bo maris dam. If it's not dilute, where it still looks like blood, chayv l'chasos. The sarv b'yayin. Now it becomes more complicated if the blood got mixed with wine, which is also red. So then you have to use a procedure called royan, estimation. Royan also ki'ilu humayim. You have to calculate, well, if it's 4 ounces of wine and if it was made 4 ounces of water, would the appearance remain of blood? If so, then you'd have to cover it. Now, a behema does not require kisui. So nisar b'dam behema. If the chaya or oaf blood got mixed with the dam behema, or b'dam chaya, not from the shechita, but let's say an animal got injured and was bleeding. Again, roin so kilu humayim. You have to calculate the volume as if it was water, and if it still looks like blood, you have to cover it. However, Rabbi Yehuda Omer ein dam mevatel dam. Dam cannot nullify other dam. So you can't, if some other dam got mixed up with the dam of the chayyim, you'd always have to cover it. Because the other dam doesn't nullify the dam. Dam hanitis, which is blood that spatters far away from where you shechted. Or shalak sakin. It's on the knife. Chayav l'chasos, you have to cover that. Amar Yehuda emasai, b'zman she'en sham dam eluhu. That's if there's no other blood that remains except for that little blood. Aval yesh dam shelohu. But if there was other blood that you covered, then you don't have to cover every drop of blood that you have. It's like a symbolic kisui. Once you cover the primary blood, that's enough. Patur melachas. It's not awesome. Dam shneserv b'mayim. Blood that got mixed with water. This is by zrika sadam, not by kisui. You shechted a korban, you have dam, and you have to do zrikas on the mizbeach. If yesh bomar is dam kosher, as long as it looks like blood, even if it got diluted with water, it's kosher zrika. Same thing, the sarv b'yayin, if it got mixed with wine, roina sokilu mayim. You have to estimate the volume as if it was water. And then nisar b'dam behema or b'dam achaya. If it got mixed with other blood, either a behema or a chaya, roina sokilu mayim. Again, you view it as if it's mayim. And if it's not enough volume to dilute it so it doesn't look like blood, it would still be kosher to the zrika. But Rabbi Yehuda Omer ein dam mevatel dam, and therefore it always is okay to do the zrika. Amrav Chia barav Amrav Yechanan, lo yishana l'shon aflu mayim l'soch dam. When do we say that this is kosher? You're talking about when water fell drop by drop into blood. there's always more blood than the drop of water that falls in. So the dam is always strong. Aval nafal dam mayim. But if the dam fell into water, each drop of blood is going to get diluted, rishon rishon bottle, and you're not going to be able to do the zrika. Amrav Papa, uli in kisui enokain. It's contrasted in our Mishnah to the case of kisui. Even if the blood fell into water, like we described by the zrika, where it would disqualify here, ain dichui eitzel mitzvahs. You can't get rid of the mitzvah, and therefore you still have to do kisui adam. Amvira Mashmuel. Kolmara admumis. If the blood has any red left in it, mechaprin, when you do zrika sadam on the mizbeach, it can atone. Number one, umachshirin. Dam is one of the liquids that can be machshir food to be makabel tuma. So it's got to have a little red left. V'chayavim b'kisui. Now, my kamashalim, we learned all these. Mechaprin tanina. This din of that it has kapora, as long as it has admumis, we learned. Chayavim b'kisui tanina. We learned both of them. Machshir nitzrachalei. The chiddush is for hechsher lakabel tuma. So the Gemara says, Machshir Nami, we learned that this halacha as well. Because Ida Machshir, if this mixture has the status of dam, we know dam is one of the liquids that is Machshir. If it has the status of water, it's only one of the two choices. It's either blood or water. And both it should work for both. The water that got put in there was rain. Rainwater normally does not machshir food to become tumah unless you had a kavona for that. Blood is machshir food to be makabel tumah whether you have kavona or not. So as long, Rav Yehuda is saying, as long as this mixture has a color of little red, it'll have capability of being machshir makabel tumah. Frankly, you want to make shamim nami. Given the shakil v'rami achshavinu. Well, once you've poured the rainwater into blood, you obviously want it for something. So you have kavanah. More answers, we're talking about you didn't pour it. The rain fell directly into it without your thought. This is something else. Tzlosa dedama is serum. Like when you let blood sit, so it separates into a clear liquid where all the proteins are, and then the red. So if there's any redness in that clear serum, that can also be machshel kabel tuma. It can achieve kapara. It needs kisui. Rav Yerim Midifti Omar Anush Kores. If you ate even the serum, you'd get kores like blood, as long v'hudeka kazayis. Moshnisa tona metamin the oil. That this type of serum also, if you're in underneath the roof, if you have the proper amount, it's, I think a revius, it can be metame you betumas oil, right? V'hu de'ika revius. Tanan hasam kol mashka meis tohirin. Liquids that emanate from a dead body, teardrops, a woman's milk, chutz midamo, are tohirin. Do not cause tuma. Chutz midamo, except for revius blood. Even the serum that has a little redness is metame be'oil. Liquids that emanate from a corpse, is it tahor? V'raminu. I'll ask you a kasha. Mashke tvul yom. So you have a person, let's say, who touched a dead sheretz, one of the Shmona Shvatzim. So he's tummy for one day. If he goes to the mikveh 10 o'clock in the morning, for the remainder of the day, he's a tvul yom, until he has hair of shemesh at night. So it says, mashke tvul yom, if he has tears or milk, k'mashkin shnogeh behem. It's treated like betuma, like if he touched any fluid, which also can cause tumah. It says ve'elu ein mitamin, but not through touch. If he touches Truman and Hegdish, they become tummy, but not regular food. Okay, we'll stop here. So Mirza Hashem tomorrow, same time,
Correct. What time is it
eight
there for
o'clock.
you? What time is it there?
It's 5:20 a.m.
Wow.
Davening. Listen
Yeah.
to this. Davening today is at 5:45 because they're taking us. You went to the Chobe River, right? There's a
Right.
river, right? So we're going there today, like at 6 o'clock in the morning or 6:30. You gotta have breakfast, so it's
Yeah, you have to do everything early in the morning. Yeah.
an early day.
Yeah. Okay. Enjoy. Have fun. Thanks.